According to a new report from Common Sense Media, teens spend 9 hours a day in front of a screen.
Concerns about too much screen time and the problems it could cause are nothing new, but research paints an unsettling picture. Charlie Tinker explains in this special report, iTech Too Much.
It's technology. You have to embrace it.
We live in a world defined in terms of bandwidth, data, and a limitless supply of hashtags. On demand, instantly available, and nearly impossible to avoid.
It's a 24-hour round-the-clock situation that we have.
11 years and 4 months of your time on Earth will now be spent in the blue glow of a screen, according to a recent report from the Huffington Post.
We have instant gratification with these devices. You have a question, no matter what that is, and the answer is at your fingertips.
The cost of that convenience is something we have long feared.
We're just connected. Our entire lives are going to be connected. You see these old futuristic movies from 20 years ago, and we thought it was so cool back then on what was going to happen, and we're there.
Massive hacks, privacy breaches, and companies bent on farming your data for a profit with every keystroke.
You walk into the bank, you're on camera. You drive down the road, you're on camera. Amazon, I'm thinking about buying something on Amazon, and then all of a sudden my Facebook page is going to have it.
It may not exactly be the Matrix, but in some respects, it's not exactly a far cry from the dystopian future we've seen in pop culture.
This whole deal with technology and internet was, so that we could work less, right? Because now we could get more things done in a quicker amount of time, but as it is now, we're always connected. We're always accountable.
We feel tethered to these devices.
A phenomenon triggered by the smartphone and the advent of social media. Jordana Ballinger specializes in human behavior.
Is it making us more reliant and less self-reliant? And I think the answer to that is yes. Over any amount of time that it's harmful. Tools in general can have a double-edged sword.
Namely, could the internet and the technological revolution it fueled be making us stupid?
Well, there's an app for that, but then if you didn't have your smartphone, would you actually know how to do this? Is the app more convenient, or is the app actually doing the work for you?
Starting route to Traverse City.
Some have called tech the path of least resistance, that in outsourcing our intelligence to machines, we gain nothing. While other researchers suggest tech can physically rewire our brains.
It affects our attention and our motivation and our expectations of what organic relationships look like in real life.
An ongoing National Institutes of Health study detected a visible thinning of the brain's outermost layer in young adults and teens, lower scores on thinking, and language tests as well. What would you call it?
Well, I would definitely call it an addiction, and I think the first thing that we could think about is, I think everybody can identify with the fact that you've gotten halfway to where you're going, and you realize you don't have your cell phone, and then panic sets in.
Whatever the change means, an entire generation of teens will feel its impact.
And social media is insidious in many ways, but not only with social media, but there was actually research that supports that technology addiction looks very similar in the brain to other addictions, like to drug and alcohol.
In this war for attention, are we the casualties?
All we have is this moment right now. And if we take away from that, then we are sort of robbing ourselves in a way. They're going to have to decide where technology is a tool and where technology is actually disabling us.
That decision could be one you have to make time and time again. For 9 and 10 News, I'm Charlie Tinker reporting.